principles are rules and maxims to live by. Embrace reality and deal with it. Pain plus reflection equals progress. The personal evolution process takes place in 5 distinct steps. Have clear goals. Identify and don't tolerate problems that stand in the way of you achieving your goals. Accurately diagnose problems to get at their root causes. Design plans that will get you around problems. And finally, do what is necessary to push these designs through to completion. In 2017, Ray Dalio, founder and manager of the most successful hedge fund in America, released a book called Principles of Life and Work, in which he explains how he views the world and the rules or maxims that have led him and his company to increasingly higher levels of success over time. There were a lot of great ideas offered in this book, but the most essential concept that we are going to adopt here at Climate Change Realty is also perhaps the most difficult to achieve. I want Climate Change Realty to operate very similar to the way Ray Dalio's hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, operates. What this means is that I want Climate Change Realty to be an idea meritocracy. An idea meritocracy is a system of governance in which the best ideas win, regardless of where or who they come from. Sounds simple enough, but in practice, it is a lot more difficult to achieve and very contrary to the way most people are accustomed to operating. An autocratic system is one in which a ruler has absolute power. Think of your 3rd grade classroom or Hitler's Nazi Germany. Whatever the person in the front of the room says is what everyone else has to do. In an idea meritocracy, everyone voices their opinions, and the ideas that are objectively viewed as best are what gets put into action. In order to operate an idea meritocracy successfully, there are 4 foundational principles: radical truth, radical transparency, thoughtful disagreement, and believability-weighted decision-making. So when you believability-weight decision-making, that means that the person who is most experienced or most knowledgeable on a particular subject gets more votes or has their opinions weighed higher than someone with less experience. Say, for example, that since I have sold more houses than someone who is in their 1st year in real estate, my voting power on decisions surrounding our process of how to sell houses is higher than someone who has not sold any houses. Now, this doesn't mean that the person who hasn't sold any houses gets no say, but their opinions aren't weighted as high as mine because they haven't had as much experience in this particular topic. We could get into this in more detail at another time, but essentially, my plan is to operate Climate Change Realty as an idea meritocracy with a firm mission of supporting a business-oriented solution to the most pressing challenges of our time. So here are the key principles that everyone who joins Climate Change Realty will have to agree with in order to create the community that we will need to achieve our mission. Number 1, and of course the most important, is enlightened self-interest. The most effective way to serve yourself is by serving others. This is easy enough to understand and is echoed through millennia of religious texts and stories throughout human history. My short 24-year experience has proven this to be the case over and over and over again. Number 2, people over profit. The most effective way to achieve your goals is not by maximizing how much money you make, but instead by maximizing the relationships you have with others and the amount you are able to directly help them. At Climate Change Realty, our goals will not be based on sales volume, but instead based on transaction volume. We would rather get more people involved in our mission than more money involved because people are objectively more valuable than money. Number 3, know thyself. In order to become the best version of yourself, you must directly acknowledge your strengths, weaknesses, and the undeniable impact that your origin story has on your future. At Climate Change Realty, there won't be any hiding from who you are. We fully embrace it. Because everyone is different, everyone will be better at different things. This is great. Number 4, self-improvement improves society. The most effective way for the company to achieve its goals is if every employee is focused on improving themselves and becoming the best they can possibly be. You don't need to go crazy on maximizing your potential, but stagnation or decline over the long term will not be compatible with our company culture. Notice how these principles play into each other and are self-reinforcing. You will constantly learn how to improve yourself, by trying your best to serve others. Number 5, radical truth. It is in everyone's best interest that the truth be told. In order to have a good sense of reality and make a good plan, we have to actually understand what is happening. Blatant attempts to deceive others will not be taken lightly. Number 6, radical transparency. The more readily available information is, the easier it can be reviewed and the better quality of improvements can be proposed and made. This doesn't mean we will share our latest experiences in the bathroom, but generally speaking, if information flows openly, everyone can understand why certain decisions are made, even if they disagree with them. Number 7, get into the good ones. The free market is the best system we have, and it is our responsibility to make it better. Supply, demand, markets, goods, and services all exist whether you like it or not. Corruption, thirst for power, and inequalities also exist. No economic system or political system has created greater prosperity for a greater number of people than free market capitalism. This system has also allowed for environmental degradation on an inconceivable scale and has continued to perpetuate systems of abuse and maleficence. The system cannot continue as it has and must be improved. But our methodology does not include a complete and total destruction of the system, but rather radical improvement through mechanisms that already exist today. Number 8, the economy is reformed from the bottom up. The current economic system is comprised of and reformed by the behaviors of producers, consumers, and legislators. The behavior of a great majority of legislators has proven to be mostly influenced, if not completely controlled, by the will of extremely impactful producers. The impact of a producer can be directly contributed to their relationships with consumers and other impactful producers, and then enhanced by their capacity to exert their will on legislators. As a producer's impact increases, their capacity to exert their will on legislators also increases, creating a positive feedback loop and further increasing their overall impact on the entire economic system. It is also important to recognize that without a continued relationship with consumers, producers cannot continue to increase their impact. Therefore, to operate most effectively and achieve our company mission, we will focus on maximizing the impact of enlightened producers and consumers. What this means is that by elevating the voices of regular people and supporting businesses that operate based on enlightened self-interest, we can make these values the new norm in the economy. So if people and businesses demand goods and services that improve life on our planet, then a producer's choice will be to either provide those goods and services or go out of business. Number 9, systematic change outranks temporary solutions. It is unacceptable that the current economic system produces extremely unfavorable outcomes. The most effective way to prevent the extremely unfavorable outcomes produced by the current economic system is to reform it. Therefore, it is our imperative to prioritize the systematic reformation of the current economic system over easing the suffering caused by its current formulation. In other words, we don't just hand out fish, we spend our time teaching people how to fish. I am 100% on board with any solutions that both directly ease suffering and diagnose problems to get at their root causes. But this company is focused on finding cures over treatments. And finally, number 10, the infinite mindset. This last one is pretty existential, but more important than you might realize. By adopting an infinite mindset, you are able to see yourself as part of something more. Our lives are not a journey with a definite endpoint in mind. That is to say, there is no specific purpose or endpoint you are trying to achieve, like the quest for the Holy Grail or your $1 millionth donated. Odds are, even if you do achieve those things, your life will probably continue on afterwards. By operating in the progressive pursuit of a worthy ideal, be it enlightened self-interest or a fully regenerative economy, you choose to prescribe meaning to all of your actions, no matter how small. Our company mission is designed to be for something, inclusive, service-oriented, resilient, and ultimately unachievable, so that we always have a more positive future to strive towards. We support solutions to the most pressing challenges of our time so that future generations can focus on the distinct challenges of their time. If we do our jobs well, there will always be a future generation whose challenges will not be the same as ours. Our mission is designed to outlive us and never end.